All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Odette, and today I'm joined by Hema and Nova. We all three work for Plano Public Library, and we're going to provide a basic introduction to the Valley Line database. While in the Zoom program, you can exit the full screen mode by using the Escape key on your keyboard or clicking Exit Full Screen on the top right of your screen. During this webinar, your camera and microphone are turned off. If you have any questions, please place them in the chat. You can find the button for that at the bottom of your screen. All comments in the chat should remain respectful. Participants that do not follow this rule will be taken out of the webinar and not allowed back in. And finally, staff cannot and will not answer any investment related questions in terms of choosing or evaluating any investment products, but we will go over the Valley Line database itself. Okay, let's get started. So Valley Line provides investment research on companies, industries, markets, and economies. It provides information to help you evaluate 3,500 of the most actively traded stocks in more than 100 industries, representing 95% of the daily US trading volume. There is a daily market update during the work week, the summary and index for the upcoming week, supplementary reports on individual companies, weekly small and mid-cap rank changes, and more. The information is constantly being updated by Valley Line staff. Today, we're going to cover the basic information to help you get started with Valley Line and provide some additional resources so you can continue to learn after today's workshop. First, we'll explain how to access Valley Line. Then we will navigate to and within Valley Line to get more comfortable with the interface. And finally, we'll spend the bulk of our time on specific sections within Valley Line. So you can access Valley Line from home or at any of the Plano Public Library locations. You must have a Plano library card in good standing and internet access. If you don't have a library card, please visit any of our libraries or view the information online to review requirements and apply for a card. There we go. So now we are going to get into Valley Line. To access Valley Line, you'll want to go through our website. If you go through an outside link, it's not going to bring you to the correct page so that you can enter your library card number and enter our subscription and not just a general Valley Line website. So the first step is you're going to go to the Plano Library main website. That's going to be planolibrary.org, and it should bring you here. Then you're going to try to find Research and Learn. You can hover over Library at the top, and it'll bring up this mega menu. In the middle, there's a Research and Learn button. Another option, especially if you're on mobile, is you can scroll down and you'll see all our different tiles. You're going to click on Research and Learn down here at the bottom left. This is going to bring you to our database page. And from here, you can explore all the different resources you have access to from home. Today, we're going to click on Business and Career. Then you're going to scroll down to the bottom of the business section, which you see here for Valley Line. There we go. You have two options. You can click on the icon or you can click on Access Now. So I'm going to click on here. This is a page that you're going to type in your library card number I'm going to briefly pause my screen so that I can enter that number in. And when you're done, you're going to click on log in. And you are logged in. After you successfully log in to Value Line, you're going to see the dashboard, this landing page. To make sure you're getting access to all the resources through Plano Public Library, you're going to look on the top right to see Welcome Plano Public Library System. This is the message that should be on your landing page. If at any point you don't see that when you're in the dashboard, that means your connection may have timed out. You may have been logged out of the system for one reason or another. Just make sure to get back to that Plano Library webpage so that you can log back in and make sure you're getting access to the subscription. Let's see. At the top, we have the menu bar in this dark blue. You're going to have dashboard, browse research, markets, find ideas, and investment education. Those are the ones that you're going to use. Below that and to the right, you're going to have quick links, and we're going to go over the section in detail later. But this is where you can find what you do have access to. If the link is in blue, you have access to it through the Plano Public Library. If it is gray, or if you hover over it and there's a message that says this product is not part of your subscription, that means we do not unfortunately have access to it. The next part we want to review before we get into the specific sections is investment education, which is up here at the top. If you're brand new to Value Line, we suggest utilizing the investment education tab to get more comfortable navigating Value Line. It's a very complex database. An important component is going to be the tool guide section here. They provide articles on how to effectively use the different tools Value Line provides. So for example, we can scroll down here to navigating Value Line. And it's going to show you the different PDF instruction sheets created by Value Line staff on specific sections inside Value Line. So for example, today we're going to go over a specific stock page or report page, and we're going to do a basic introduction to it. They also have a 20-page document on each specific section in that research report. So this is a great resource for you to study. Another part of the investment education is Value Line University. This is a 4-part series that walks users through the basics of investing and how Value Line ties into it. So actually investing and not just navigation of the website itself. Okay. Before I get into the more specific aspects of the database, are there any questions in the chat? And I can pause for a few seconds so we can get to anything that comes up.
We do not have any questions as yet.
Alrighty, thank you. Okay. So the landing page or dashboard, this is one of the things I mentioned before. If you see up here, you don't see the Plano Public Library system. For some reason, Value Line times you out. So all I'm going to do is close this out. Click on Value Line again and log back in. There we go. I didn't have to enter the number. Okay, back to the dashboard. The main part of the dashboard is going to be here on the left. It's the featured commentary section. This will have the days or the most recent report written by Value Line staff. You can read the full report by clicking on read more under each one. So that is for today, Monday, April 4th, and I could click on read more. and it's going to give you the full analysis stock market update from a Valley Line staff, and it tells you the staff member that wrote it and the date it was written. And then from here, you can access previous days. Going back to the dashboard. At the top, you're going to see two search boxes. You're going to want to focus on the one on the right. This is the quote box. This allows searching by company name or ticker symbol. So for example, I'm going to type in 3M, and here pops up 3M. I'm going to click on that. That is going to pop up with the company report page, and you can see all the data that's included in Valley Line for that specific company. You can also type in the ticker symbol, and it'll work the same way, and it'll show you other ones, of course, but you can click on 3M and click to the report page. Whenever you're outside the dashboard, you can always click back on there, and it'll take you back to that main screen. All right. The final part of the dashboard is going to be this quick link section. As we mentioned earlier, if it's blue, you have access to it, and if it's gray, you do not. If your computer doesn't show colors well, anything that you don't have access to, once you hover over it, will have a message for you. So this is a good summary of what you do have access to through the library. If you're already familiar with the physical version of the investment survey, this section will represent that information most like the physical reports. So let's get into these individual sections. So one benefit to using Valley Line online is you will have access to that week's survey before it arrives at the library. At the top right of the section, the first thing we're going to look at is summary and index. I'm going to click on there. And it's going to pop up with the 40-page summary and index for April 8th. So here at the library, Schimmelfinnig is the only one that still carries that physical version of Valley Line. We have the previous week still. So then, as you can see, it's a PDF. It is printable. It is searchable. As you can see, it's not an image. So that's very helpful if you want to do a quick Control F and find the information that you need. So I'm going to close that out and get back to the dashboard. Below summary and index, we have selection and opinion. Same thing. It's going to pop up with the selection and opinion part of the Valley Line investment survey, searchable, printable, and it will show you always the date, so you know what information you're looking at and its currency. Let's go scroll through that, and the model portfolios in here. So, and we'll go over those. Close that out. There's also going to be additional comments that go with the weekly reports. The small and mid cap summary and index, that's still going to be a PDF for you. 48 pages, searchable, printable. Close that out. And then we also have the supplementary reports. The supplementary reports are going to be slightly different. When you click on it, it's going to take you to another page inside Valley Line. On the left, you're going to see the latest supplementary reports by Valley Line staff, and you can just click on them. You'll see the company name, stock name, and the date that it was updated. If you want, you can also search by company name on the top right and click go. And even though it's in this page, it is still printable. You can click on print report and it'll give you a simple document that you can print, so you can keep it if you need to. Let's get back to the dashboard. Finally, that week's stocks with commentary and the rank changes for the survey and small and mid cap will also be available as lists. So when you click on Valley Line Investment Survey current issue, It's not going to be a PDF. It's going to be a curated list of items with recent commentary. And you can see the parameters they set here, recent commentary updates, and you can also see it usually in the search in the address bar. From here, you can click on the ratings and report cover page button. And that's just going to be the ratings and reports cover page, because the actual ratings and reports are going to be in these individual pages. So for example, we can click on, let's see, the Alma Group. This is going to take you to the reports page for that stock item. If you are still interested in the more traditional version, you can still get that if you click on PDF reports up here. And it's going to show you the latest reports that have been created for this specific stock. So I'm going to click on April 8th. And it's going to open up this PDF that is the one that you see in the physical version of the Value Line Investment Survey. And there's all the information you need. Close that out. So this is your reports page. If you're going to spend a lot of time on these pages, it's good to know you can customize these views. On the right-hand side of the page, there is a hidden menu right here. It's going to scroll with you. So no matter where you are on the page, you're going to see it right here. You can click on any one of the items and that page is going to scroll to that information. So I'm going to click on total return percent, and the page is going to scroll down to that section. Also, as you can see, the information in the reports page is held in these small boxes or modules. If you hover over them, you can see a couple of different options. You can change the size of the box to make it bigger or smaller, or you can hide it if you don't think that information is relevant to what you need. And also you can click and drag if that is something that's going to be useful for you. That's going to be your report page. And as I mentioned before, there is that almost 20-page document Value Line provides that goes over every single one of these different sections. So I'm going to click back on the dashboard. And two last sections, and then we can break for questions, are going to be the rank changes. They're set up slightly different. So the investment survey rank changes, it's going to look a little different, but you can still click on it by date and see that information. So let's do this, April 8th, and that's how it's going to show you the rank changes. And it's going to be the same for the small and mid cap rank changes that they also provide. So before I keep going, if there are any questions or anything that anyone wants to go over again.
We do not have any questions yet. Okay, we have a question. The question is Value Line a website to use for trading or only used for research purpose?
Only for research. They are not going to do any of that trading work for you. So yes, research only. That is a good question.
That's the only question we had so far.
All right, thank you. Okay. No problem. All right. The next section is going to be our browse research section. It's going to be the second tab. So the first part is going to be the recently searched section. So because I searched for 3M, because I clicked on Alamo Group, they're going to show up here as long as I'm still in that same session. So if I logged out for some reason, these will reset. Below that, you're going to find the Value Line featured lists, and we'll go over these in a different tab. And then you're going to have the coverage universe. So as I mentioned before, we don't subscribe to absolutely everything that Value Line offers. So if you want a list of everything that you're going to have access to, you're going to go to the coverage universe. I'm just going to click on Library Elite, and this is what it's going to look like for you. And you can customize the view, search in them, change how many you see, etc. That's your Browse Research tab. There it is. The next one is going to be Markets. And I did want to mention, we don't have access to saved screens. I know that's a feature that some have access to, but not through the library. Next is Markets. Markets basically has the stock market updates and also has, so you can see today's article, and it also has the economic calendar. It's going to include upcoming major events that are going to be relevant to investors. So you can see what's going on this next week. The weekly Fed data comes out on April 7th at 4:30, etc. The next tab is going to be Find Ideas. This is where a lot of the work, if you're going to do analysis outside of the Value Line Investment Survey, is going to be. This is where your work is going to be. We're going to go over model portfolios, and we're going to go over the screener. So first one, model portfolios up here. And it did the thing. So let's just get back in. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Sorry about that. Find ideas, model portfolios. Okay. The model portfolios are created by Value Line staff to represent different investment strategies. So you get a better idea. Let's just look at portfolio 1. You can find a link to it right here on the left-hand side. When you click on any of them, you're going to see a blurb at the top of the page with the publication date, and then a list of all the stocks chosen for that portfolio. Each one is going to explain why there's been changes, how it's changed, and also the type of investor this is geared towards. So for example, portfolio 1, stocks with above average year ahead price appreciation, primarily suitable for more aggressive investors. If we click over to portfolio 2, the blurb, the data was updated. And then it says portfolio 2, stocks for income and potential price appreciation, and Value Line determined this would be primarily suitable for more conservative investors. And as you've seen, these models are not stagnant. Value Line updates them regularly. So this is another good resource if you're getting started. And there are also tool guides that can help you further explore these model portfolios. And there's 4 of them. Okay. The next section of the Find Ideas page that we're going to do is the screener. Okay. The screener is a powerful tool that allows you to evaluate data using your own chosen parameters. This is useful if you want to evaluate data beyond what the weekly survey may provide. You can select a number of different criteria on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see here, I'm going to close this so you can see all the different, all that. On the left-hand side of the screen. And a great feature are also the Value Line preset screens, which we saw earlier in Browse Research. I'm going to click on that. you can review the screens value line staff have already created that fit the type of information you are looking for. So for example, we can click on companies with significant estimated dividend growth. I'm going to click on there. Wait 1 second. And here we go. Here's the stock screener with that criteria selected. So first, it narrowed it down to 886 matches because it set the projected 3 to 5 year dividend yield from 1 to 11.8. Then it took those 886 matches and applied the criteria of projected 3 to 5 year dividend growth rate, 20 to 85, and it narrowed it down to 28 matches. So again, not a stagnant set of data, because this is going to change depending on how Value Line is ranking and predicting these how these stocks perform. So here we go. So when you set the criteria you want, you can scroll down to the bottom and see the results. It's going to show you the company name, the ticker symbol, and the first tab up here is going to show you the criteria that you have selected, right? So it's going to be 3 to 5 year projected dividend yield and dividend projected 3 to 5 year growth rate. Up here, you can click on these different tabs to see a different view, and also on show my available stocks only, which will help if, let's say, you have a results screen that has thousands of results. You can narrow it down to stocks that you actually have access to through the library, because not everything is represented by clicking on this button. The next tab would be ratings and ranks. And this is going to show you, wait for it to load. Again, the company name and ticker symbol, and also the safety, timeliness, and financial strength ranks that Value Line assigns to these different stocks. Now, if you have a small screen like I do, you can scroll down, and there you'll see this separate scroll bar, so you can scroll through the information. And there you'll see technical rank, earnings predictability, price growth, price stability, etc. And it's going to be the same setup for these different tabs up here. Estimates and projection. There we go. Profitability. Annual rates. And then there's one for industry. But yes, now let's go to the top. Whether you're creating your own screen using the different parameters over here on the right, or if you're already clicking on a preset screen that gives you your own, that gives the already decided parameters, you can further customize these. So one of the things you can do is you can change these numbers. So you can either grab the little scroll bars at the end or beginning and move them here. If you move the scroll bars, it's automatic. It automatically updates your results. If you type it in, you have to click on filter, and it updates your results again. So that's one way. Another thing you can do is add additional criteria that you want to view the results with. So for example, I want to see the stock price along with these criteria. So I'm going to click on stock price. And it gives you the further criteria to narrow it down by the stock price. So down here, when I click on criteria, oh, excuse me. I wonder why. There it is. You can change it. I forgot to change it. You can change the stock price, and then it'll result in a criteria. And then you can sort by the different results down here. So we have company name, ticker. I want to sort by close price, and it'll sort it for me. this button is going to open up your results on a different screen. So I'm going to just click it. So you can view it on a different screen if you're trying to do a side-by-side comparison of different products, etc. Let me close that out. So this is going to be your screener. And as you can see, I'm going to reset the criteria. You're going to have a lot of different options for the type of information that you're going to have access to. Okay, so that's the bulk, the main presentation of our class today. If there's been any other questions, and also if you want to formulate any questions, we can wait a few minutes and we'll be happy to answer.
We have a question. Would there be a class on how to invest?
So I don't think we could provide a class exactly on how to invest. At the end of the class, we're going to provide a few links on books and other resources that can help you learn how, only because it wouldn't be appropriate for us to provide that kind of information. But we'll go over some of the resources that you can explore if you're trying to learn just how to invest and not just how to navigate the database. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We have another question. Can you, it's not clear, AHOQ regarding current issues?
I think they mean the current issue. So yes. So if this is what you mean, you make sure you're on the dashboard. And of course, it logged out. Yes.
Yeah, on value line.
There we go. I'm gonna log back in. Okay. You're gonna want to click on VLS current issue. So it's gonna be dashboard, which is the main landing page after you log in. Look under quick links and VLS current issue. And that's going to be the ratings and reports. If you're looking for summary and index or selection and opinion, those are going to be over here on the right. And those are going to be those PDFs that we explored earlier. So if you click on it, there you go. So that's where you're going to find this information along with selection and opinion. It's going to be that same format. There you go. And if there are no more questions, we'll just go to the last part of our class here, but feel free to add them to the chat. I'm just going to go over some additional resources you guys can explore. Let's go back to our presentation. And we will place these links in the chat for you. So other business databases that you can explore are the Morningstar Investment Research Center, also available through Plano Public Library, Business Source Complete, and Reference Solutions. We also have technology classes, so getting started with Google Drive, training for Microsoft products if you want to be more comfortable with Google Sheets or Google Docs or Microsoft Excel. We do offer those classes seasonally, and also we always have the recorded versions of these classes. We post them online. And then finally, we also have Plano Library ebooks on investing. There's also physical copies that you can explore. We're going to put a link in the chat before we log off for a handout that's going to have links to all these different databases and other things that we've spoken about during the class. Our summer season for programming is going to start in May. So be on the lookout for any other business and career or technology classes that you may be interested in. That will be available online. And we also have physical copies of all the calendars at any of the locations that you can visit. And that's it. Are there any other questions about content that I can answer before we get out of the database? So for the question about the barcode is very long. Is there a way to save it? There's a couple of ways. Some patrons take pictures of their barcode. If you mean save it in your password manager, you could. That link to the login page is very specific. So you'd have to make sure you're doing it with that specific login page. But also you have your physical library card. You can save your number also in the Plano Library Public app. We have a mobile app. And once you log in and set up your account in that app, that number is always going to be in there. So there's a couple of different ways without compromising your privacy for your library card that you can have that handy. Okay. That was the only other question I saw that didn't get addressed. And yes, all our classes, not all, most of our classes we make available, this one included, will be available on YouTube by next week or soonish. So finally, thank you for attending our class. When you close out of the program, a survey will pop up. If you can fill it out, we would appreciate it. We value all your feedback, especially for a class like this where it's our first time providing it. Thank you again. We hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.